I'm Jake from Ohio State. Thanks again for watching the video. This is going to be a response to Brad from MildManneredEdc. He put out a video and it was a question about what your daily banger is. And you know, the responses so far always kind of start a little the same that we talk about what a banger really is. And I can tell you that word has been throughout my life a little bit. When I was younger, I used to race motocross and BMX, and we would do, you know, freestyle BMX, that type of stuff, vert inside of indoor coliseums and so on. And so back then, you know, hitting bangers was doing, you know, doubles and triples on a dirt bike. And in the BMX vert and dirt side, you know, when they'd have a row of jumps and you were grooving those row of jumps, you know, you were hitting bangers then. So, you know, that's been around. And then when I got older, I worked in Geek Squad for 10 years, and it was mostly to do with car audio. And then I went to home theater. So in car audio, it was subs. If you had big subs in your car, you know, you were hitting them bangers in the trunk, you know. So and that's some early 2000s lingo there. But so now in this world, in our knife community, we adopted it for just kind of an everyday, like the one that no matter what, that's the one, that's the cool one, you know, that's your banger, kind of a, you know, a throwback, even a side variation to your ride or die, right? You know, back in the day with the early 2000s Rough Riders and all that stuff. So it's just sort of been adopted that way. And I've heard it before as well. I actually did a video a little while back about budget bangers, kind of the same thing, you know, but just in the cheap ones, the ones that are going to last. So this is more of the one for everybody. And I really enjoyed watching all his responses. So I thought I'd do one as well. He did tag me in it. So, you know, common courtesy, we're going to do one back. So if you watch any of the videos and been part of my Instagram at all, you know that I like multi-tools. So the first one I'm going to show is one of my favorites, and that is the Spyderco multi-tool. And this one I did a review on it pretty early on, but I feel, you know, almost not prepared for the day if I don't have some sort of Victorinox or multi-tool or anything like that, so that I know I can take care of whatever comes at me. But and I've said before, if I could only choose one knife, if I had to get rid of all the other ones, it would probably be something like this. Honorable mention is this larger 111 millimeter, the Parachutist, which is a 3-layer knife and has tons of tools on it as well. You know, like these types of knives to me are so handy with everything you can do to them. But that's saying if I could only choose one, you know. At that point, those are all the tools that come on that Parachutist. But at this point right now, we're just talking about the one we grab the most. So Spyderco, even though I love it, it does kind of stay, you know, in the drawer a little bit. Next one up, pretty common one, I think. It's going to probably pop up on a lot of people's lists, and that's the Bug Out. Full-size Bug Out. I mean, boy, there's tons of reviews on this. I've used its comparisons a lot. I think it's a terrific knife. I really don't have any complaints in it. You know, it's this color for me, specifically the OD green and the red and black and OD green and black. Those are my two favorite color combos. So to get this, this was a gift to me, and by 4 terrific guys. I always say that, you know, the connections through Instagram, the knife community, and the EDC community, all that stuff are one of the funnest things about this. So Brad himself was involved in this, I believe. Mark at Mark's Gear, Sean over at Geared Towards Gear, and JD at Shadowborn Hanks. I think, you know, I kind of learned a little more of the story, but it's always a big thank you to those guys. So this one specifically is always going to stay with me. But again, I like this knife a lot, but it does end up kind of sitting in the drawer a little bit, you know, and I grab it randomly. So that one kind of moves on. The next one up is, again, going to be a pretty popular model, I think, as well. I mean, it's popular in general, but specifically, again, the Spyderco Tenacious and this version, which, you know, they say lightweight. I don't, you know, it is a little bit less. It does weigh a little bit less, but really just, you know, the FRN with that bi-directional. I really, really love the bi-directional stuff. And I see, you know, in the new release, they're coming out with a one that has S35 blade stock on it, right? So that's the collector mentality. I really don't have a problem in the 8CR, but boy, I guess I got to get that one as well. And when I get that, this was already such a great knife to me. I know I'm going to love that one as well. So this guy again, always, it's comfort to me. The size is right. It's got a good silhouette on it. It's not anything too major. I don't really consider it really to be an extremely frightening knife because you can just slow roll it open and your lockup's good. So this is always a good one for me. Steel wheel is going to be on here a couple of times. This first one I'll talk about is the Cut Jack. The Cut Jack was to me like their first home run. You know, they really put a lot of thought into it. It's thin, it's got good grip. You know, look how thin that guy is. It's got great texturing on there, real good grip. You got some pretty good budget steel on there, some D2. You know, this is G10. Pocket clip's okay, all that stuff. It carries nice, it rides nice. You get a couple different colors. Again, they have the M390 version of this as well. Maybe I'll pick that up. It's such a good knife. And yet again, it's still not the top of the line for me, but I really do. I grab this thing a lot. I'm going to talk about a couple knives they're out on loan right now. So otherwise I would show them up, but you're going to see a picture kind of pop in there. And that is, you're looking at the Steel Will Sargas. And the Steel Will Sargas, to me, another gift by my very, very good friend, Anthony, Uncle Anthony. I talk about him a little bit over on Instagram. He's got a good account. He gave it to me around Christmas time, but I had been already talking so much about it. It's got, the blade steel's good. You get D2, you know, G10 handles, that curve on the back there, that bright red, and they do a really good black wash on it, so the blade looks really clean, and that big belly on the blade in there, you know, everything about that is very utilitarian. It's got a good deep pocket clip. I really love that knife. But still, it didn't win, but it's one I'm going to keep. You know, I really quite like it. So staying with Steel Will, one that would have battled, and it's out on loan as well, but one that would have battled maybe for first, maybe even one, is the Steel Will Tasso, and that's going to come up like that. So the Steel Will Tasso that you're looking at now, I mean, you got M390, G10, contoured, curved, great grip, that really terrific ant lock that, I mean, it's a sidestep from Axis lock. And I'm gonna do, you know, a comparison between the Axis lock and that ant lock a little later, different video. But it's like it's a reverse mounted lock back, you know, so you get a good solid snap in there like it was a lock back, but because of the design, you can really flick that knife out and kind of get a good fidget factor with it. The blade is a terrific blade shape, and I love that. So, you know, and the color, little pop of orange back there is cool. Pocket clip isn't the greatest, but again, and that's maybe why I wouldn't put it at number one, but it is a strong, hardy number two. But we'll move on to what I consider to be that banger, that number one, right? We're getting there. This is 1.5. And 1.5, the reason why I say this, you'll see in a minute, this is the Native 5 from Spyderco. This knife I wanted from the moment I seen it because A, you know, Spyderco quality is always mentioned, but B, that silhouette when it's closed up has got to be one of the greatest ones where you're still getting a clean, cool looking knife, that wonderful bi-directional in there that I talked about. And when you open it up, you still get the same thing. You get this really good looking knife, you know? And I mean, gosh, the way it's designed, your fingers fit in there. I've reviewed this and talked about it. It is absolutely just such a good design. As you can see on there, and again, the generosity of our community. I traded to get this, but then that pocket clip showed up in the mail one day, right from another Ohioan. I just mentioned him earlier in this video, Mark. He lives an hour south of me, and I finally got to meet up with the dude, and we had a terrific lunch. But this showed up in my mail one day, this MXG gear clip. That clip takes it right to the top. It puts it right up there at 1.5, because number one then, and this guy, again, is going to stay with me forever. This is just the St. Nick's version. And I say just, meaning that they have several different versions of the Native 5, but the red and black color. Man, that's one of my, that's tops. That's my favorite color combo. I don't know, the green and black's right there with it, OD green and black. Again, the same thing. I just ordered the clip right away for it. MXG gear. This is the one with a little cutout in there. So far, I've had no issues with any type of retention with that, and I don't plan on it. But putting those clips on has only been my ever complaint. My one complaint with these knives. You know, they look clean. They got the bi-directional on them. I love that. More than the G10. I like this one. So that blade steel, the blade steel of the 4V CPM. There you go. Whoop, focus. There you go. CPM 4V on it. That blade steel, you know, I haven't had to sharpen it yet, and I've carried this 4 or 5 days. I don't cut stuff obviously all day long, but everything about this knife is such a great design that getting one in the red and black and a higher end blade steel, you know, this is it for me. This is the banger right here. So that's my list. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and you know, put your own videos up and let me know. You know, I'm excited to see more of these videos. Great shout out to Brad for putting out a good question and making the community kind of think and create a little more. That's always the fun part about it. So there you guys go. Have a great day.